Hello and welcome back to Zorpo TV. In this video, I'll be sharing my brand new Assassination Rogue PvP guide for World of Warcraft's brand new 20th anniversary patch 11.0.5 for the War Within. This patch has brought some significant changes to rogues, and I wanted to quickly touch on some of the more notable updates before we fully dive into this Assassination Rogue guide. In an odd decision by Blizzard, Thistle Tea has been updated to automatically drink when energy falls below 30%, but can also still be activated on use like before. This interesting change adds a bit more of an energy management dynamic to rogues. Thistle Tea is crucial to maximizing burst damage, so rogues will have to be careful not to activate Thistle Tea at the wrong time by spending too much energy. Another notable change is a buff to the Vanish healing provided by the Soothing Darkness talent for all specs, paired with an equal reduction to healing during Shadow Dance for subtlety. This basically means that really only Assassination and Outlaw will benefit from this increased Vanish healing. Another big change that's really going to hurt Subtlety's performance is the complete removal of the Invigorating Shadow Dust talent, Subtlety's cooldown reduction mechanic. We've also seen Echoing Reprimand, one of my favorite abilities of all time, get completely removed from the game and be replaced with a new, similar yet different talent called Supercharger. Supercharger is a powerful new talent available to all three rogue specs that provides a significant increase to burst damage from finishers, but in my opinion, it's not enough to counter the massive nerfs that Subtlety has received in this patch. Being able to reset the kit cooldown with Vanish was one of the only things Subtlety had that could compete with Assassination's Garrote ability, which silences casters. The Garrote Silence gives Assassination an additional DR category to chain CC along with their stuns, and Assassination rogues have access to this ability every single time they vanish, shadow meld, or otherwise are able to enter stealth. Having access to such a powerful silence on each vanish with a separate diminishing return from stuns and other rogue CC is massive. Considering the big nerfs to Subtlety and the slight buffs to Assassination with the new Supercharger talent and increased healing from Vanish, I've decided to go with Assassination Rogue for now and patch 11.0.5. Before we dive in, please like the video and consider subscribing if you want to see more fun and informative World of Warcraft videos. Now let's get right into it. Before we start to break down the spec, let's touch on the best race right now for Assassination Rogues, which is Night Elf. Night Elf has access to Shadow Meld, which is one of the most powerful offensive tools available right now to Assassination rogues. Since Assassination doesn't have access to Shadow Dance, Stealth is the only way we have access to major abilities like Garrote, Cheap Shot, and Ambush. Night Elf's Shadow Meld ability gives you a way to quickly exit combat and re-stealth without Vanish, which provides access to these important abilities during the Subterfuge window. If you're playing Night Elf, this macro can be spammed to easily Shadow Meld Stealth. You can press this macro repeatedly, and it won't take you out of stealth once it gets you in. For stat priority, we'll be taking Agility over Mastery over Versatility. Haste and Critical Strike also provide decent benefits to Assassination rogues in this patch, but nowhere near the raw power to our bleeds that we'll get from stacking full Mastery. Versatility helps to round things out, providing increases to both damage and defense in PvP. If you really want to crank up the Mastery stat, consider crafting the Algari competitor's leather goggles and leather bracers, which allow you to double down on one secondary stat by sacrificing another. Using the Mastery version of these will give a slight increase to your damage while sacrificing a little bit of defense as a trade-off. For embellishments, most of the top Assassination rogues are running Elemental Focusing Lens for both of their embellishments, giving their abilities a random chance to cause additional magic damage. This embellishment can go on belts, boots, and rings. It's hard to say if this is really the best embellishment possible for Assassination, but it's undeniably the most used embellishment by top Assassination players right now in Solo Shuffle. Here are my Assassination Rogue PvP talents for patch 11.0.5. This build focuses heavily on overwhelming bleed damage with huge burst windows that hit harder than ever thanks to the new Supercharger talent that's been introduced in 11.0.5. I really like this talent setup here. This build is very versatile, allowing you to spread massive pressure on the entire enemy team with bleeds, while also being able to set up short periods of huge single target burst damage. You can find success with a lot of Assassination talents, None of them are really terrible, honestly, but I think this is probably one of the best setups for huge bleed pressure while still having nice burst. You can find the export code for these talents in the video description. For hero talents, Deathstalker and Fatebound are both good in their own way, each offering their own different advantages. Deathstalker gives bonus damage to Rupture, provides a couple nice defensive bonuses, and is built around focusing the majority of your damage on one target while still having decent spread pressure. It causes each target affected by your bleeds to deal additional damage to whichever target you've marked for death. Fatebound is different, offering stacking damage bonuses that build up over the course of a match, providing increases to your overall damage no matter which target you're attacking. Fatebound may favor more rot-centric team compositions that are built around playing a long game and ramping up big damage over time effects on multiple enemies. Personally, I think Deathstalker is a bit better, especially in today's solo shuffle meta where you just need to kill one enemy to win the round. Deathstalker helps dial in the damage on that one specific target to get the kill. That being said, Deathstalker still has its downsides. Sometimes it can be a bit tricky to switch your marked target since you have to hit them with ambush from stealth or subterfuge, which isn't always available. However, if you can get the playstyle down, I think that Deathstalker is the more effective choice for winning games, even if Fatebound does more overall damage in a long game. A quick look at the solo shuffle ladder will confirm that most of the top Assassination Rogues are using Deathstalker, with only a few outliers running Fatebound. For PvP talents, we'll be using Hemotoxin, Smoke Bomb, and Dismantle. Hemotoxin is the most powerful PvP talent available and should be run 100% of the time. The healing reduction from Shiv is insanely powerful. Smoke Bomb is a powerful utility that creates a circular cloud of smoke that prevents enemies from targeting into or out of the cloud. This is a great way to finish off enemies or create high pressure that's hard for healers to recover from, especially when paired with a stun like Kidney Shot or Cheap Shot. Dismantle is vital against melee enemies and hunters. It's a great way to shut down bursts from classes that use physical weapons, massively reducing the pressure on your team. If you're facing against spellcasters only, you should switch out Dismantle for another PvP talent. Creeping Venom, System Shock, and Maneuverability are great alternatives to Dismantle. Getting into the Assassination Rogue playstyle, it's a bit different than Subtlety. With Subtlety, you generally come straight out of stealth into a CC chain with massive burst on one target. As Assassination, you need to take a bit more time to apply bleeds, usually to multiple targets, before you're able to dish out your maximum burst. You'll want to keep bleeds up on as many targets as possible to make the most of the Scent of Blood talent, which provides you with bonus agility for each target with Rupture up. Once you've got your dots rolling, you'll be able to apply powerful healing reduction and high burst damage with abilities like Shiv and Envenom. So, Assassination Rogue doesn't have an exact cookie-cutter rotation, but you're generally going to want to make sure you apply Garrote, Rupture, and Crimson Tempest to as many enemies as quickly as possible. You'll also need to understand how the Deathstalker mechanics work in order to make the most of it. The way Deathstalker Assassination Rogue works is that whenever you ambush somebody out of stealth or subterfuge, it applies 3 stacks of Deathstalker's mark. You'll want to try to keep the markup on your primary kill target at all times. This mark is going to cause you to deal increased damage to that target and cause the damage you deal to all other targets to also deal shared damage to the marked target. So for your opener, you'll generally want to sap the healer and then come out of stealth and apply CC and bleeds on the other enemies with Garrote on casters and Cheap Shot on non-casters. You'll want to make sure you get Garrote and Rupture up on everyone, which should be easy coming out of stealth if the enemies are standing close together thanks to the Indiscriminate Carnage talent, which causes Garrote and Rupture to apply to multiple enemies for 12 seconds when you come out of stealth. Using Rupture will also automatically apply Serrated Bone Spike, which is another powerful bleed. Don't forget to use Ambush on your kill target as well to apply the Marked for Death debuff we just discussed. So now you've came out of stealth and got Garrote and Rupture rolling on everyone. Next you'll want to get Crimson Tempest up, another bleed applied with an area of effective attack. The more bleeds you have up, the more bonus damage you'll get from talents like Scent of Blood and Lethal Dose. Once you've got Garrote, Rupture, and Crimson Tempest rolling, it's time to do some big burst damage. So you've got Garrote, Rupture, and Crimson Tempest up on as many targets as possible. Next, you'll want to use Shiv on the kill target. This is going to give them a healing reduction debuff that will also cause your poisons and bleeds to deal 30% additional damage. It's also going to activate your supercharged combo points, which will cause your next 2 finisher attacks to deal increased damage as if you had 2 extra combo points. After you press Shiv, you can press Deathmark here if you have it available. Deathmark is your biggest burst cooldown and causes your other active bleeds to deal additional damage. It's important to only use Deathmark after all your other bleeds are up, or it's a big waste. Next, you'll want to make sure you have full combo points, then drink Thistle Tea and press Envenom. Then build as many combo points as possible with Mutilate, and make sure you press Envenom again before the Thistle Tea buff runs out. Thistle Tea gives us increased mastery, which is going to increase the damage of Envenom. If you use Thistle Tea with full combo points, you should have enough time to get off 2 full combo point Envenoms during the Thistle Tea buff. These Envenoms will hit super hard, because not only do you have the increased mastery from Thistle Tea, but both of the Envenoms will also act as if they had 2 extra combo points thanks to the supercharged combo points we got by pressing Shiv just before bursting. If you don't have Deathmark, you can just go straight into Thistle Tea and spam Envenom after you press Shiv with all your bleeds up. This will still do significant burst damage without Deathmark. So now you know the playstyle, how to open from stealth, and how to deal damage and burst. But to make the most of the spec, you've really got to make the most of your vanishes, since that's the only way you'll have access to the Garrote Silence and the Deathstalker's Mark from Ambush. Try to save Vanish for when all the enemies are off diminishing return timers for silence and stuns, so you can come out of stealth and create insane pressure by spamming full CC on all your enemies. And don't forget you'll want to do your best to hit your main target with Ambush while you have the Subterfuge buff out of stealth to get that Deathstalker's Mark up. You really want to make sure you get that ambush off because Deathstalker's Mark is very important. Also, be careful when you're first getting all your bleeds up in your opener that you don't spend too much energy. If you drop below 30% energy, you'll cause Thistle Tea to trigger, and you don't want to waste Thistle Tea when you don't have all your bleeds up yet. So try to stay above 30% energy until you've got all your bleeds rolling, then go into the Shiv, Thistle Tea, and then spam Envenom and Mutilate. Alright. That's it for my patch 11.0.5 Assassination Rogue PvP guide. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and are ready to go kick some butt on your Assassination Rogues. Please drop a like if this video helped you in any way, and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with the greatest WoW channel on YouTube. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.